ever worried that you might be the cool kid? You wear the latest fashions on top of all the trends. Or have you ever worried you were too much in the mainstream? Always so generic, more normal than your friends. Well, we've devised a test to put to rest your fears. There's no need to panic if you lend us your ears. Tonight you can't sleep easy after all that you've heard. Cause if you like the show, then you're probably a nerd. Oh, Canon, it's Canon, it's all. With Tyler, Phil, and Boris. Oh, Canon, it's Canon, it's all in Canon.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Geek and Pop podcast, the podcast where we talk about everything geek, the podcast where we talk about everything pop culture, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything because, as the name says in the title, or the title says in the name, I don't even know what I'm saying, it's all in canon. As always, for your hosts, I'm Boris, and I'm joined by Phil.
Haha, you're rusty.
Oh, you have no idea.
Hey.
And somewhere from parts unknown is Tyler.
Miles below the Earth's crust, safe in a basement complete with humidity of 88%.
Wow.
I'm in a wonderful cave.
Lucky. Well, you know, typically this is the part of the show where I actually start naming off stuff that we're going to talk about, but I have zero plan today. So, we're going to wing it, but there are some stuff that I do want to talk about. Because it's that type of week.
Oh my gosh. We're
What?
just going to wing it. We've been off for a couple of weeks. It's like, yeah, let's just have at it.
It's been such a weird, this last week has been so weird for news.
Yes. It's been awkward, weird news. Nothing like I even for the weekend, I was scrolling, I started to do some notes, right? But this isn't interesting. This isn't interesting. This isn't interesting. It's a lot of headlines, but nothing that we can chomp into.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, fair.
So yeah. Okay, so weird day for us to release an episode. We had all intentions to release an episode on Sunday, but Saturday night I just could not sleep for the life of me. I fell asleep at about 9 a.m. I was up by 11, and I just felt like crap the entire day. And then
you were saying you felt bad, right?
Yeah.
So I actually thought about that, and I was like, you know what's going to happen over the next month as stuff starts opening up? Everyone's going to get sick again.
Yes.
Not even because of COVID. Just because we all have our own microfauna that we haven't shared in so long.
Yep. And I can tell you that's exactly what it is. Because last week I saw some people, and that's I've had a cough since, but I know it's nothing because it's just I know it's me. It's the cough that I used to always have.
Yeah, I was thinking you had heat stroke. Because of how stinking hot it is.
It could have been, honestly. This weekend was nasty again. And I need to take care of myself more in terms of when I go out for a walk, hydrate, put on a hat, maybe a little sunscreen.
Because when I was a little kid and I used to get heat stroke, man, I'd be barfing. I'd be you'd think I was dying of the flu or something, and then it just turns out, my mom's like, you need to cool down now. Drink this.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I've just been drinking water since, basically. It's just been water, trying to keep hydrated. But I've had this cough literally since I got... No, I'm not even going to say that. But I've had a cough for about a week.
I know what you were going to say.
Yeah, I know exactly. But I don't want to, spread lies and whatnot.
No, we don't want to put fuel on that fire.
But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've missed a few episodes.
Yes. So I guess we should talk about that. So, it's the summer. And last summer was insane, was insanely busy. We had a lot of content, we had a lot of stuff going on. But as the world is starting to open up, I think, everyone's entitled to a little, family time, a little refresh time, a little getting back to normal time. And that's what we're going to try to do this summer. So this summer, we're going to have 1 episode a week. And then in the fall, we'll be back to 2 episodes. Because again, we have a lot of specials that we want to do. With a lot of stuff happening in each of our lives. I think it's, it'll be cool. And when we do stuff, minus this episode, we tend to do, give it our all. So I think we're going to go 1 episode a week until September, and then we'll pick things up and we'll run with it.
That sounds like a plan. I'm also really happy that we have Tyler joining us today, because that's been a little bit spotty with all of his changes. Yeah.
I'm out on the coast now. I literally see the ocean every day.
Lucky bastard.
We're literally on a harbor. Yeah. It's calming.
Awesome. I can imagine.
It's calming and humid. It's just very strange. Also, I gotta say, and this is surprisingly calming, the government here is like, hey everybody, there was a party down in Halifax. We got an 11% outbreak from that party. Let's keep it slow, guys. Let's slow it down a little bit. We're so close to out of the woods. And everyone was like, that's a very good call. Yes, let's all be very sensible and not like no one was like, oh, how dare you?
Yeah.
It's just
must be nice.
The routine truck needs to be open.
In 11 cases was like a big number. We were like, oh, that's way too high. And now we're down to like 3, 2.
Yeah.
There's 0 over the weekend.
Oh. Have you seen the numbers here in Toronto specifically?
No.
So over the we've been. We've been about 30 to 50 people. Okay. Like Toronto, Waterloo. Yeah. More than that.
Yeah. Well, Waterloo's the Delta variant is the issue, right?
Yeah. So
I'm lucky in my region we're dropped down to like 6 people a day.
Damn.
So it's getting pretty good. The numbers, like they're not scary like they used to be. It's still scary, but they're not like fear-inducing. Yeah, because before when we were really high numbers and whatnot, it was like, hell no, I'm not stepping foot outside, let alone, go to the store or do whatever. It's like, ring up Amazon if I need anything.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to mix in some news while we talk about stuff. So I have this thing. I've been, when I saw the number, I was just like, of course. So, Phil, apparently people do want to go back to dank and moist theaters. Have you seen F9's numbers here?
Oh, whoa, let's slow down for a second. People who want to see F9 are willing to go back to dank and moist theaters. Let's throw it out there.
Distinction right there.
Let's throw it out there. They bring back, spoilers, they bring back the cast from Tokyo Drift, who are now rocket scientists. So they turn Vin Diesel's car into a spaceship so he can Tokyo Drift Fast Furious 9 in space.
I love it.
I am not making any of this up.
I know you're not.
Phil's looking at me like I had a stroke. Phil's like dialing 911.
A stroke of genius, that is.
Like, it looks exceptionally bad, all right? Like, this franchise single-handedly is responsible for probably one of the few times, especially early on in my life, that I nearly walked out of a theater.
Yep.
So, number 2, I was a hair away from just saying, screw it. And the car I was driving then was a car that was in the movie. So I stuck around to try and spot it. And not my car, but my model of car.
Yeah.
And that was the only reason. It was utter trash. Now, I know the franchise has revived itself a little bit and gotten these big stars and whatnot.
Well, it's Sharknado now.
Yes.
Yeah. That sounds absolutely disgusting to me.
Yep. Well, I mean, look, a previous one literally they were fighting a superhero.
Yeah.
What?
That was Hobbs and Shaw.
Idris Elba just played a superhero.
Yep. Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
He just had superpowers.
Wow. I recorded that movie, but I never watched it.
That's the pitch.
Oh.
Idris Elba has superpowers. I mean, not to mention, like, everyone has superpowers in those movies now. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in, I think, 6, flexes his broken arm to heal it.
Oh my God. All right.
He flexes and bursts out of a cast and is like, "Argh!"
Well, this franchise is basically exactly what it's doing, right? It's meant to be a summer blockbuster spectacle of stupid, right? Like, we don't get blockbusters that are really intelligent movies at any, for the last decade anyway. So kudos to them. It's not a movie I'm ever going to watch. I can honestly say that.
Well,
I will never bother.
it made $70 million domestically over the weekend.
That's okay. I mean, what did it cost?
Well, regardless.
No, not regardless.
No, regardless. Okay, I understand where you're coming from. My point is, how the hell did $70 million worth of people go to a Dank and Moist theater to watch this?
Because the United States is wide open. Because I have friends and I know people in the States who are like, yeah, we're doing a road trip now. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Having said that, I'm a step away from going to Las Vegas in August. I'm like, hey, I started the pandemic in Vegas. I'll end the pandemic in Vegas, at least this phase of it.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw it out there. Fast 9 only cost $200 million to make. That's actually a lot less than I thought.
Same.
Wow.
Like,
outer space must be fake.
God damn it.
Fucking Phil. By the way, Phil, you know that our last episode, which was me and you just randomly talking, was literally our most listened to episode ever.
Oh gosh.
3,000 downloads.
Nice.
Holy crap.
God damn it. Like, to make a Fast and Furious movie for a second. Like, what's that cast? Like, the cast has got to set you back like 80 million,
John
right?
Cena alone is probably worth a shit ton, right? And then Vin Diesel's worth 2 shit tons. And then...
Oh, God.
Well, yeah, because I'm trying to say...
Rock.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to say, right? Is like, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man was, what, 25 mil?
Yeah.
Something
Plus back end. But they're all going for back end now.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm betting Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson, and a couple of the other big names are at least half of Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Vin
It's crazy
Diesel
when you think about
owns
it, right?
part of all of this. Vin Diesel.
Sure.
I don't know that he's on the full take because he's doing such a back end on that.
Interesting.
Specifically, because he funnels the money into his production company. He bought all of Pitch Black.
Yeah, well, that was always a weird other
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just know that he does a lot of interesting stuff with his finance on movies.
Yeah.
So that might be a bit of a misleader. John Cena, I can't see grabbing huge dollars. Like, honestly,
Probably a couple mil.
movie I can think of him
Yeah, I'm thinking
was like
a couple
Train
mil.
Wreck. Yeah.
He's in Suicide Squad, though.
Yeah, but I think that DC would splash the cash. I think people look to this franchise to, if they can get in on it, they think that it's going to write a check for something else.
John Cena makes between 8 and 5 million per movie appearance, it looks like.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Good for him.
It's about right.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, because John Cena has a cult following, is the other side of it, right?
Wow.
I don't know which cult, but a cult follower. Because among, like, wrestling enthusiasts, he's not liked.
No, it's like a meme cult now.
Yeah.
He's like, Redditors love him.
Yeah.
It's the same people who are trading stonks and we're wishing Elon Musk happy birthday yesterday and making Twitter be really flippin' weird.
Yeah, I avoided Twitter yesterday.
It was a lot of bootlicking on display.
Oh my gosh.
I got a topic that has me riled up.
Oh.
I don't know if it's... I might get Boris riled up on this. Did you hear who's making a return to the X-Men comics?
No.
Oh,
I know who. Robert. Yeah.
Shit, Rob Liefeld's back.
Number
Rob
one.
Liefeld,
Oh my god.
who spent the last, 5 years shitting on anyone else writing X-Men?
Yep.
Who has said he's not reading the current X-Men run is going to go right?
Yep. When I saw that, it came across like whatever, and I'm like, did I see that headline? I actually had to open the email again. It's like, they're doing this.
Rob Liefeld, who has said that gay characters need to be fixed.
What?
Yep.
Yeah. Rob Liefeld isn't full. I'm not saying he's a comic skater. I'm saying from time to time he flirts with them.
They flock to him. Doesn't
They
necessarily
100% flock to him.
Doesn't necessarily mean that he is part of it, but
yeah, he as I said, he flirts with them. He will do some stuff from time to time that encourages them to stick around.
Yes.
Without wholeheartedly, accepting that. But yeah, Rob Liefeld's back.
Dog whistling on this.
I don't know if I'd say it's a full-on dog whistle, because having heard Liefeld talk, and all the Liefeld stands are to get mad at me, I don't know if he's smart enough to dog whistle.
Oh. And I don't think we have any Liefeld stands listening. Consider what we talk about. I don't
know. If you ever want to understand who Rob Liefeld is, phenomenal video from the 80s, early 90s of Stan Lee creating a character with Rob Liefeld and oh my god, brain fart, McFarlane.
Oh, yeah,
Todd McFarlane.
Yep.
And Rob Liefeld, Stan Lee is just making fun of them, and they don't. It's just over their head. They don't get it.
Yep. There's a reason why Image almost imploded upon starting.
Yeah.
But the amazing thing is there's been, and maybe I'm going to misspeak here and show my age.
Sure.
But I always got a big kick out of Chris Claremont writing X-Men.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Sure.
I think he was one of the original guys that really started drawing certain parallels to the world with the metaphor of mutants and things like that. I think it's always been in there, but I think this was something that I couldn't miss as a reader back in the day, and I became, quite taken with some of his approaches, mirroring, the Holocaust and stuff like that, which obviously provided a lot of foundation for the movies and yada yada. But
yeah,
there has been smart writing in X-Men.
Yeah,
100%.
Oh, there has been.
Well, and I would argue, I think I could argue pretty well that whether you like Hickman or not, and you like his writing or not, he's a smart guy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 100%.
There's going to be writers that are good, and they don't resonate with you, right? And that's fine.
Yeah.
But then there's
a lot of people don't like Scott Snyder's writing.
Fair. I don't think you guys like him.
Oh, I love him. Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder. Okay.
Scott
yeah.
Snyder.
Oh my god. I did a hard reset on comic media, so I've taken in nothing in a month. Batman. Oh my god, I'm absolutely brain farting. He did Batman for a while, right?
Yeah, New 52
Oh
Batman.
yeah, that early stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He also did American Vampire, which is to this day one of my favorite books. Period.
Yes, that's the one I was thinking of. That he's quite good. Yeah, he's not my favorite. I don't like him as much as you do, Boris, but he's solid.
It's American Vampire that I really like. And remember The Wake?
Yeah.
Phil, for you, Dead Space,
Oh.
is it coming back?
I don't think so. I'd love it to be, put it that way. But I really think after seeing some of the deep dive analytics that I've seen on the likelihood of it actually being something and the rumors versus the rumors, I don't know that this Montreal office is going to be trying to reboot this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love for it to be. That was a great game. That was a great series of games. They made movies. They made comic books, I think. They tried to follow a template, same as Mass Effect, that they were trying to create with the whole ecosystem of a video game and a story. But I'll always remember the one where you could play with another person co-op, and what they were seeing was different than what you were seeing. And that was the first time I'd experienced that in a video game, where there was that parallel going on. And I'm like, hey, are you seeing the naked clown holding the balloons? And they're like, what the hell are you on? Have you been drinking? And then I'm taking screenshots with my BlackBerry and sending it. And I'm just like,
I remember. We were talking a lot playing that game.
Yeah. It was good times. Like, there was
it's funny because that like literally came out. The two games came out between Mass Effect 2 and 3. So like after Mass Effect 2, and after Mass Effect 3, or between 1 and 2.
They really turned me on to the horror science fiction genre.
Yep. Yep.
Which I've started playing Returnal, by the way. Thanks, Tyler.
That is dangerous. That gets its hooks into you.
Yeah. It is very well done, I gotta say. I've just made it to the intro screen, and I was
shit.
The game held me for that whole little prologue and everything, and I'm like, man, this is fun, but it really feels like it's on rails. And I thought I read something else, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Returnal, that's the name. All right, this is all very scripted. But it was good. It was very good. I like the soundtrack. I like the graphics. I like
that's beautiful.
Presentation is excellent.
Yep.
So kudos to Sony for, again, doing a left hook on us, and we didn't even see that one coming.
Well, that's like a small studio, actually, isn't it? Sony published, but a small studio made it.
Yeah. Yep. And it's on sale for $63 this week.
Oh, I don't imagine that's going to be cheap for a long time.
No, well, 63 is better than 90.
Oh, 100%.
And I think as of July 1st in Canada, the tax gets put on all digital stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's coming this week.
I know a few friends who are buying stuff right now digitally because they're like, I'm not going to pay that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Interesting. Yeah. So I got the email from Netflix. Basically, we're going to charge you tax. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. I never see that because I got every other email. Why don't you finish watching this?
Yep.
See, I now get the Netflix emails of, why won't you come back to us?
I love it. Love it. Do you do a rotation, or do you just...
No, we just weren't getting anything we wanted on Netflix anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Like, for a long time, we basically had it for Netflix exclusives. And
then they canceled Jupiter's Legacy.
Jupiter's Legacy. They lost all the Marvel TV shows.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of shows,
Witcher's solid.
Have you watched Sweet Tooth?
No. We will be. Again, we're in this weird interstitial space right now where like half of our content we can't access. So we've been watching a lot of weird stuff.
Sounds about right.
Quarantine life.
We watched Luca.
Oh, so good.
Really? I hated it.
Really?
I thought it was.
I loved it.
I thought it was.
I thought it
was.
You're fired.
Discounting.
It's over.
Discounting
it's
the
over.
Cars movies.
This is how the show ends.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Discounting the Cars movies because those are an abomination.
Yeah.
Second worst Pixar movie. I should point out, I am judging against Pixar movies.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that my wife and I both actually quite liked it. We just were like, we expected more from Pixar.
Yeah, I get that. I agree with that.
Maya Rudolph kills it. Jim Gaffigan really feels like he's phoning it in.
Yeah.
Also, like, the inconsistency, the fact that, like, everyone else has, like, thick accents, except Maya Rudolph and Jim Gaffigan, is a choice.
See, now you're going to make me hate it.
So, and we were talking about it on our dog walk today, and one of the biggest concerns is that when you hear about a Pixar movie, you're like, part of what I'm getting is this perfect gem, right?
Yeah.
It is a high standard.
Yeah, it's very, because their like top tier stuff is like there's not a single flaw in this, and there's just like a couple of plot threads that get set up and don't go anywhere. And there's a couple of things that are just kind of clunky, and it feels like the antagonist didn't need to be one character, or like needed to be developed better. It was just that. Here's the thing. It felt like a DreamWorks movie.
Jim Gaffigan sounded like
Thank
Steve
you to
Carell.
Disney for sending me Luca early.
Nice, yeah. No, look, it's still a Pixar movie, which means it's still some of the best movies out there.
Yeah.
Which is just like, I'm just judging it so harshly because Up destroyed me as a human.
It destroyed everyone as a human.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing, right? We just ruined it for so many people. You remember when you had that heartfelt movie that was recently on and you've been in lockdown for 2 years and you watched it and you cried, Boris? It sucked. And here's why.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Look, I haven't talked to anyone but my wife in 2 weeks. Things have gotten weird over here. We literally have 2 rooms.
Here's the thing. I'm a little concerned for you, Tyler. You're looking around too much. You're blinking a little too much. Are you trying to send me a message? Show me the reflection on your glasses.
Oh, this is too funny.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord. This is why I wish we could release the video. Oh, my God.
No, the issue is that I'm on an iPad and the internet's not as good here, so you're both very downsampled. So, like, I have no reason to look at you because, like, Boris.
We're just blobs.
Yeah, Boris is just like a blob.
That's what I normally am.
And then Phil, I've got the line of the facial hair and the hat, and then just kind of like a white space. So I'm just like, I have nothing to look at.
Oh, my God.
Goodness.
Jeez.
So funny.
That's gotta be a lot of fun.
You know what we all will agree will suck? This new Smallville animated series.
Oh.
I'm not going to lie to you. I've been told about it twice, and both times blacked it out. Like, I was like, no!
Yeah. No.
You know who's not going to be coming back for this show? Allison Mack.
Yeah. I mean, being a world-renowned criminal does that. Yeah, you brand your initials into one person, and suddenly that's all anyone can think about.
Hopefully people don't find my ex.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. Oh. Yeah, so that's where we're at. I can't believe it got greenlit, along with the Supernatural prequel.
I mean, the fiasco, the drama behind the Supernatural prequel is
I love it.
Freaking weird.
Yes.
I feel like someone got screwed out of a lot of money there.
It's, you know what, on the face of it, oh, you didn't tell me about it. I thought we were friends. Ha, ha, ha. You know? You know that deep down, because by the end of the show, they were both producers, they were getting, you know, more than just acting deals.
Yep. Yeah. Well, he did an end run around him, is very much what it seems like. is it's we're gonna frame this one around my character looking into their past. Suddenly it's my ship, we don't have to pay you pip diddly.
Yep. Meanwhile,
interesting stuff.
You know that I ran into Jason Eccles 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Nice.
Downtown. Yeah, he's filming The Boys.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, not really, just a story.
Yeah, but did he have people around him, or was it just him?
No, it's just him. Just him.
Just wandering the streets of Toronto, lost.
Yeah.
How come everything's closed?
Channeling his inner Jason Mantzoukas.
Oh my God. So they've been filming downtown, like downtown on King Street. And there's a bunch of like anti-vax posters. But these anti-vax posters are for the show. So the conspiracy theorists have just been going nuts.
Oh.
Yep. It's like someone probably should have brought those down just because. But yeah.
Wow.
Someone's very proud of themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Alex Jones is going to make so much money off this.
For some reason, I thought he was dead. No, it's the other one who's dead.
Rush.
Yeah.
Limbaugh.
Yeah, Limbaugh.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I see the protests. I'm confused.
Yeah, same. There was one in my neighborhood last weekend. Took me 50 minutes to get to the Gardner as I was going to my brother's.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yep.
That's terrible.
Yep.
Like,
Dude's
it's
been
fine.
delayed
If
again.
you want to... What?
Yep.
Dune, yeah. I won
Dune's
$5 off that.
They're just fitting it into a spot.
I mean, yeah, sure. Sure, why not? You can just pretend that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's done. It's done, isn't it?
Sure, yeah, why not? It can be
The
done.
hand was closed on that one.
Who's to say when a movie's done?
I know I pointed that out, that they have now like over a year to fart with this thing. But I'm worried that executives are in there making decisions.
That's exactly what's happening.
That's exactly what's going on.
Geez.
Because everyone's saying, hey, can I send me that movie? Let me see. And then they're sending notes.
Mm-hmm.
Too many people, too many cooks in the kitchen right now because there's too much time.
Oh, shit.
But
Yes.
I think it's a combination of too much time, plus everyone's getting gun shy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's the combination of everyone's so starved and still has so much time on their hands. They're also critical.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, you know what? It starts, I guess, soon when Black Widow finally comes out.
So two
On the
things.
9th?
Put a pin on that. So original release date October 1st, new release date October 22nd. Black Widow.
You see.
Yeah.
Okay, I just can't see that much being done to it other than what's already being done to it. But I know that they're going to put Dune in TIFF and another festival just before it. So to me, that movie's ready to roll.
I mean,
When
separately.
you're in festivals, I'm like, you've got something. Go.
Separately, I don't know if Dune should be allowed to go to TIFF. I don't know. That just feels weird to me.
It does.
But anyways.
Hey, but you know what? Eyeballs will go to it, and it's a good thing for TIFF. Maybe not the best artistic integrity. You're right. Like it should be a different caliber of film. But that being said, I haven't seen it. It is a Canadian who made it. It's going to get the headlines because I know it's coming to TIFF. So therefore, like,
I mean, my understanding is that TIFF wasn't hurting in the slightest.
No, but press always is nice when press because you're going to get more than just around here. Obviously.
Here's the thing:
you're going to
TIFF
get
is turned
worldwide
into
stuff.
TIFF is now turned into these are your Oscar contenders. Like that's essentially what TIFF is now.
Yeah. Definitely is a primer for it. And I think if Warner Brothers are smart and they do have a good movie here, this should be winning something.
Phil, you just said if Warner Brothers was smart.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, look, no.
That's why I put the F's on the high.
We're going to get Dune, and it's just going to be Timothée Chalamet. CGI into the original movie. Just in the original movie.
He's just replacing
Sting
Kyle
will be back.
MacLachlan.
Yeah, just Patrick Stewart with that terrible haircut.
Yeah. Oh man, God bless you, David Lynch.
Yes. Which, you know what's weird? David Lynch like produces a Twitter video every day
Yep.
where he just says the date.
Yep.
David Lynch is a delight.
Do you know where I got the whole "it's whatever day it is"? You know what that means? So it's a wrestler who he passed away, unfortunately, and that's literally every day he went on and said, "It's Monday." You know what that means? It's Tuesday. You know what that means? That was literally his shtick on Twitter.
Wow.
So,
Jeez.
I'm going to Rebecca a name that many haven't heard in a long time. D&D.
Oh, yes.
Have you heard what their next gig is?
No.
For as a recap for listeners who really just want some Schadenfreude right now, D&D were two trust fund kids that basically were given Game of Thrones.
Oh.
And then they are the ones that ran it off the cliff when they got ahead of George.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not abdicating any responsibility from George. I don't want to litigate that part of it. They then were given a Star Wars trilogy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they declined, in air quotes, which everyone agrees is they were asked, like, you can leave with your dignity, or you can leave.
Yeah, and that was due to the backlash to the final season of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Like, largely, it was all the same.
Well, I mean, the only reason they got it was due to the excitement of the first seasons of Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Like, that's the entirety of their career, and if the only thing your career has implodes on you.
Yeah. It's tough.
They have been hired to, both of them, they're still working together.
Yeah.
They're going to direct a Leslie Jones comedy special on Netflix.
Yep.
I know that they have a Netflix deal that superseded the deal with Lucasfilm. And part of the implosion was them saying they need to focus on the Netflix stuff. But
my conspiracy theory is Netflix has a shitty deal, and they have to they have to pay these guys. You know what? You can't fuck up a comedy special.
Yeah. Yep.
That's my conspiracy theory. Is just like we're gonna see them do 6 comedy specials.
Yeah.
But you can fuck up a comedy special if the comedian's not good.
But that's not the director's fault, right? Leslie Jones is a well enough known quantity that like there's very little they have to do.
Yep.
You know, that whole thing with the Star Wars in particular, because obviously things started registering on me, like, and I was a Game of Thrones fan too.
Sure.
But the one thing that I always took away from it was a little bit of the Lord and Miller type drama. And to be honest, I'm sick of that with Star Wars. It's like, if you're going to choose somebody, then you got to stick to it at some point. I'm glad the parachute got pulled on this because it sounded a little bit sketchy from the get-go. But even the Lord and Miller, like, I just can't see them getting down to the dailies and going, what the hell is this? Like, it's Lord and Miller. You got to understand what you're going to get. Like, like what have you been watching, executives at Lucasfilm? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I think they're trying to do what Marvel did, right? Of the number of people that Marvel took who were not as well known. And we're just like, yeah, Taika Waititi, here's all the money you could ever want.
Don't step out of line.
Right. And they gave him, like, he has said, like, I had to fight him a little bit, but it was worth it, and we got a good product out of it.
Yeah. And he's doing the next Star Wars, or one of the next ones.
Yep.
And he's got at least another Thor movie, and I'm betting he'll get something else out of it.
I feel like he has something else.
Maybe.
Well, just by doing it, he has something else. Because I don't know about you guys, but out of all the Marvel movies, one of my favorites, if not the favorite movie, the one that I enjoy watching the most would be Thor Ragnarok.
Ragnarok is a great.
It's just that right blend of comedy, absurdness, action. You know, everything clicked on that. And I have to attribute it to him because I've seen it attempted and I've seen it succeed and I've seen it, you know, interfere with one of the Marvel movies. And anyhow, speaking of Marvel movies, transition galore here. Scarlett Johansson coming up with the Black Widow movie to kick off the big boys of summer, so to speak. Well, I guess it's competing against F9, but
yeah, but apparently it's apparently it's okay. Apparently it's good.
Yeah. You know, like, how caught up are you on Loki?
Me?
Mr. Tyler? Yeah.
Entirely.
Okay. Do you not find that Loki's falling into the pattern of the other Disney shows that are Marvel?
So I think I found part of the equation of the Marvel TV show in this new regime. And that is that at the start and the end of a Marvel TV show, the larger universe needs to be functionally unchanged. So, for example, we didn't know Sam Wilson was not Captain America. So if you could not watch the entire show and you miss context and you're missing some television, but the overall continuity just makes sense. You got the shield, he's Cap now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
WandaVision. You can be told Wanda mourned and got better magic powers off screen.
But what about White Vision? Or Grave? I
don't think he's going to come back in a movie. I think he's only going to come back in a TV show, if at all.
Yeah, I think Dark Avengers is going to happen on TV.
And or Young Avengers.
Yeah, and or. Yeah,
but,
you're right.
Yeah. That'll be their TV thing, so they don't have to. And I think the most you'll get will be nods, references, and Easter eggs between the TV and the movies, and I think that they're not going to let like the movies are the moneymaker.
Yep.
The TV shows are value add, and they're never gonna change that. The other part, so I think that when you look at Loki, and you look at this larger thing of, we know coming up, the meta plot is the multiverse is going to exist again. So that's the state we have to get to.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly what I said previously. And also, this is the same kind of mentality that Marvel had when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started. Say what you want about the show itself, but, it was part of the MCU, but it was still self-contained, because if you think about it, Coulson never came back in the movies. He was only alive in the shows.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that reading the tea leaves a little bit, it looks like they are decently cleverly going to do the split based upon power levels, roughly, and what kind of adventures they're getting into. Where the TV shows are going to be more of your street level ish adventures. Spider-Man is very much already dealing with bananas large threats.
Yes.
Yeah.
They fast tracked him above being a street level, and I'm fine with that. Right? But of the upcoming movies, we know that most of them are going to be bananas.
Yeah.
I think Spider-Man would be even above where they put him, but because of Sony's ownership, they pegged him back from where they would have put him stratosphere-wise.
Oh, and now we're looking at what the next movie is Leaks Ahoy about.
Yeah.
And all the people who are reportedly in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. We'll see what happens. one thing that you can walk away from. The movies that, for me, again, bullet pretty high in the Marvel universe. They're all, acceptable and good and beyond what a lot of other attempts have been. But Spider-Man is very entertaining to me.
Yep.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's the actors, the banter, the whatever. I just feel that there's a genuine chemistry between the cast members and whatnot that make it compelling to watch, even as awkward as it is to go back to teenage high school years type thing. So yeah, I'm just curious though, because to me, if Disney had the mouse ears on the spider a little more in their control, I think he'd be the new Stark. Binding the universe together. Now they have him in that seat, and the rumors are growing abound that Brie Larson is in some kind of negotiation to be the new kind of binder for all of Marvel, and obviously Ryan Reynolds' name keeps on coming up.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds is not a good choice for that, though.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I'd rather them pick and choose the places that Deadpool kind of comes in.
TV shows.
But
I think Deadpool should always be not main canon.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he could be alongside MODOK in Star.
Oh, fuck that shit.
Sure. Well, I mean, the other side being like a great way to do Deadpool, I would argue, is never have him referenced or part of the other movies. And just, he's always like, maybe he's in continuity or not in his own movie. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like what they're doing now with the X-Men jokes and stuff like that.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Of like, is he in the X-Men? Doesn't matter. Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, let's take a look at the other Disney Plus shows. Like going back to Tyler's point about kind of the street level heroes. We have She-Hulk, 100% street level right now, right?
Yeah.
So much so.
Well, in the comics, she's like a huge level right now, but I mean, they are looking at moving some of those people up, so I don't know what they're going to do with that. It might just be an origin story while they negotiate a movie.
Yeah. Moon Knight.
Yeah.
That's an interesting
Ms.
one.
Marvel.
Yep, Ms. Marvel.
Who then is going to be in the movie.
Yeah. Hawkeye, who again will probably be in the movie or Young Avengers TV show. And then there's Echo.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah. But I kind of agree with you, Tyler, in terms of what you said. Like, they exist together and there can be references, but whole and large, or whatever the fuck the saying is, largely, you can have the movies exist outside of the TV shows. Yeah.
I think also, to counter the point of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tried to do that, yeah, and they failed. And part of that was, the contract was 24 episodes.
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, but that's when the war started between studios and TV, right?
Yeah. Versus now it's all in-house, and they're like, yeah, you get 6 episodes.
Yep.
Oh, phenomenal. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there's also like a recommended thing where Kevin Feige is saying certain shows you can skip, just like you're saying, right? Like it fundamentally doesn't change the continuity of the story as far as what they showed in the movies on screen. But there are things where they're like, it's strongly recommended to bridge XYZ with this show. Like, I think the whole explanation of Wanda getting more powerful or making the changes that she is to become the Scarlet Witch, it's definitely worth the deep dive into the show for that context.
I agree it's worth it. But
I just think that they're following the same patterns, though. It's like the bad guys are there all along. I ruined Loki for my friend on the weekend because of exactly what we talk about on this show, where I find it's undeniable at this point that the Timekeepers are the bad guys. And we're 3 episodes in through a half season of a run. And I'm just like, they're being set up as the bad guys, whether or not, like, there's this theme in these shows where it's like the bad guys there all along. Look, there's Sharon. She's the bad guy. And then there's the witch and she's the bad guy. And now we're just going to go. timekeepers aren't telling the truth. They just keep on eking at it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, this penultimate episode will be, we know who the frickin' bad guy is. And then the last episode is going to be, well, here's the battle.
Yeah.
Like it's going to resolve itself.
I do hope that they actually make the battle less of a special effects extravaganza and more clever. Because they've been building up to that and hinting that with a lot of the fights are requiring them to be clever with their powers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which is more entertaining to watch.
Yes. For sure.
And I think clever also saves you on budget, right? Like, so you might as well go that direction.
Well, if clever means that you're probably going to get more views out of the episode in the series because you're going to rewatch it for clues.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people missed the Scarlet Witch room thing at the end, which I don't know how you missed that, but...
Yeah.
So, but I've talked about Falcon and Winter Soldier a lot, and one of the biggest problems with that show is that it's so overstuffed.
Yeah.
Well,
like, you could have cut Sharon being the power broker. You never even had to resolve that plot thread, and the show would have been fine.
Yeah, but they needed to do that for Armor Wars.
I mean, you're right.
Like, there's a reason why everything happened, because that show already had a big cut out of it, and that was the whole pandemic.
Yeah.
Right? And when we're like, there's shit not lining up here. Like, you can spot the edits really blatantly about, there was an alternate storyline that absolutely got nixed out of this. So they're already heavily in the edit.
Yeah, there's so much content in that season, and I think that was the biggest misstep.
Yeah, and maybe they cut the pandemic because, like we theorize, it's too close to the bone right now. But secondly, too much stuff. Like, something's got to go. What's the easiest thing to move around?
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted, I mean, I would argue even with what you had in there, you need more episodes. Nothing got enough time to breathe.
Yeah, it was ambitious, right? Like, I got in a whole big Twitter argument with somebody on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Imagine that, where they said, "Well, why does Captain America 4 have to be a movie and not a show?" And I'm like, because Disney like money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like, it's that box office. I'm glad you figured that out too, because I'm like the box office weekends where they make $200 million in a weekend or $170 million or whatever record they want to shoot towards. That is Disney flexing, like, on everybody. And just saying, you thought you could do it? Have a seat.
But the other side being, imagine the money and prestige if they're able to pull the Falcon into Captain America for Captain America 4 and have it have, like, the cultural impact Black Panther did.
Yeah.
Because, like, Black Panther legit changed, like, a bunch.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the real world.
Yep. It did. 100%.
Yeah. It's shocking. To be honest, a lot of the stuff with Marvel did, but nothing like Black Panther.
Yeah.
God.
Right, like that.
That's also another really good movie.
Yeah. Oh, MCU, you crazy, wonderful thing. Phil, question. I think we're in the cycle where Kathleen Kennedy is going to get fired again.
Oh, my God.
I don't believe any of it anymore.
I don't either. I'm just saying.
It's been on the rumor mill so many times, and there's all these people who claim to know the inner workings of contracts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And here's the thing. Nobody knows except for Kathleen, and whoever Kathleen, is it Bob Iger or Bob Chapman or whatever Chapman is it's between them. All right. Because each studio head, Kevin Feige knows his contract, not Kathleen Kennedy, and Kevin Feige doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, they don't cross pollinate. There's none of this rumor mill garbage. Like, to me, it's just a whole bunch of fans wishing Kathleen Kennedy. And here's the thing. they don't even realize she's a great executive producer.
Yep.
All right. You can like her or like her decisions and whatnot, but everything that we think we know about her could be an absolute lie.
Well, yeah,
Every bad decision
exactly.
that we pin on her, I have no evidence that shows, other than some idiot conspiracy person that's just putting out, oh, Kathleen Kennedy didn't like this, so she made, JJ recut the entire Rise of Skywalker, and she made this happen, and she made that. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think that this all, went asunder by committee.
Yep,
You know?
I'm with you. I think a lot of people who say that kind of shit don't know how movies are made.
Yep.
Yeah, because
exactly.
it's pretty clear she didn't interfere with Ryan Johnson's movie.
Mhm.
Right? It's pretty clear that kind of came off to everybody as didn't feel like Star Wars or whatever the criticisms were. But the thing that I couldn't say to anybody is I don't think there's a lot of sea levels in there just trying to screw stuff up. Like that really felt like the director directed a movie, and maybe there was adherence points that were insisted upon, but I don't even think he obeyed all of those traffic lights and did his own take on it.
Mhm.
And then when you look at, the dog pile that's Rise of Skywalker, I think it's JJ's inability to finish.
I mean, I think that it's that. Yeah. I think it's that plus the mess coming in, plus JJ hating someone didn't do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And plus just no one knowing, like, JJ fundamentally hating the narrative that Rian Johnson was setting up, and it feels like all of Star Wars was building towards, which is that it's not all about these two families.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we made it about those two families.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you know what? On the rumor front, I will say the buzz is good for Obi-Wan Kenobi. There is rumors out that he will be engaging with an Inquisitor. And there will be a showdown with Vader. The Hayden Christensen is donning the armor.
That's so
the other little juicy tidbit that's come out is the Book of Boba Fett has finished. It's wrapped.
Nice.
Principal photography is done. I'm sure there's reshoots and whatnot, but we are to treat the Book of Boba Fett as if it's Mandalorian season 2.5. The Mandalorian season 3 will not be out until 2022. Apparently, It is what we think, and it is Pedro Pascal is completely booked for the Last of Us shoot. So he's, I think there's going to be a lot of pre-production with Mandalorian 3 with stunt people.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So
yeah, because remember, Pedro's completely booked for a year with Last of Us.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to work something out for voice or whatnot, but I just don't think that they're prioritizing that at all because we also have Andor coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a Dark Disciple starts shooting soon, apparently. So there's or a Dark Acolyte or whatever it is. There's stuff that's happening in the Star Wars universe. And I think in, probably starting Christmas, we're going to be sick of Star Wars by the spring.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a crammed release schedule of them trying to wow and one up each show.
Yeah.
Kind of like what's going on with the Marvel MCU shows, right?
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Although I am pumped for Shang-Chi after the latest trailer.
I'm iffy on it still.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Even if I just think we're going to get some really interesting fighting takes that we haven't gotten in a while from the MCU.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. It's going to venture off the Marvel path, right?
Yeah. I think we're going to get what Iron Fist maybe could or should have been.
Culturally appropriate?
Well, look. Iron Fist is like one of the easiest characters that you could recast as any race and really change nothing in the story.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
What a bananas take that was.
Oh man, I know. What do you think of the Eternals?
I feel like we don't know enough.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like we don't know enough. I feel like it's going to be weird. And that could be okay. I think it depends on what we get, really. Like, I think it's too early with that one because it's such a weird take for them.
I'm trying to maintain that really low bar for that.
Yeah. I feel like the one it's going to be the most like is the first Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really, that movie at the end of the day built foundations, right? That moved into Avengers.
Yeah.
Well, and Doctor Strange, it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't my favorite.
I liked it.
I enjoyed it, but I like the metaphysical kind of angle that it had.
Yep. I don't like Cumberbatch's Strange as part of it.
Oh.
I feel like you could have gotten... Sorry, I should rephrase that. I don't like Cumberbatch doing an American accent as Strange.
Yeah, he could have just been himself.
Yeah. Also because his American accent's not good.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's a feel-good story.
I would have accepted a New York Londoner.
Here's the feel-good story of the week. Tesla recalls more than 285,000 vehicles in China over cruise control safety concerns.
Oh, jeez. Why the Chinese market specifically? I guess they're made in China.
The software is fucked.
Because the CCP is more likely to enforce rules and regulations on Elon than the American government, who's invested a whack ton of money in him and keeps covering for his union busting and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can update your software remotely, but and the recall is in quotation marks because again, it's just software. But 285,000 vehicles. That's nice.
Also, let's remember that one of the big companies that was working with Tesla previously is now going to work with Toyota instead.
Yeah.
Well, it just keeps on becoming prevalent that it's not easy to build a car. And as much as Elon Musk wants to build a car, like from the stuff that I've seen from car enthusiasts, panels aren't matching, paint jobs are terrible, interiors lack design quality. Like the list is pretty high in terms of when you put that and just the ordering experience. Like I have seen people that have ordered this stuff and they don't even get email updates about their order, whereas they order a comparable electric car in terms of price and they're getting like minute by minute updates on delivery.
Well, I mean, look, Elon Musk just wants to be famous.
100%. That's his goal at this point.
But customer service has got to be one of the easiest things that you could invest in to completely change the image of your product.
But
he doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
So if you look at how Elon Musk... So first of all, Elon Musk isn't a science guy. He isn't an engineering guy. He's a business guy. And he's always been a business guy. And if you look at like the frickin' patents his name is on, they're all about how to gouge customers.
Yep.
Like one of the patents he got that's in his name is the specific shape of the Tesla charge port. And he made sure that no one else can copy it. And he says like, oh, we're going to open source all these things, but he's locking down that because his goal is to make money of like, oh yeah, use your batteries, but the charging port has to match the stuff that I can own the infrastructure for.
Yeah, he's the Apple of cars.
Yep. Yeah. So he wants to
Apple market their car.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking Tesla. God, I hate that company.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, at the same time, I'm looking at everything Tesla's doing, and I'm looking at the way the marketplace is reacting, because it's hard to deny Ford and everybody are amping up, right? Like, the Lightning, the F-150
Sure.
Lightning. And then you look at the Bronco and you look at all this stuff. And then the next news story in that cycle is the fact that all of these things can't be produced because of the computer chip shortage.
Yeah.
Like,
I love how that's still not like front page news everywhere.
I know, well, they keep on like 2022, it all just goes away. And I'm like, really?
I mean, do you want some up to the minute inside baseball news that's like really fucking with the world? So I was in a chat with some other business people that are in my industries recently, and we're talking about shipping expenses. So we work with a lot of like plastics, paper products, and wood products, and a lot of injection molding. Costs for all of those have gone through the roof.
Yeah.
But that's not what's going to bankrupt a lot of companies over the next 3 years. Do you know what's going to bankrupt us?
Shipping.
Yep.
The greatest example is the Assassin's Creed board game. Super successful. Tons of budget for like, what if things go wrong? It's all fine. Over $38,000 set aside for shipping. Their quote from last week is, we'd be lucky to get it for $158,000. It's probably going to be more than $200,000. And the company literally, their latest Kickstarter update was along the lines of, we don't know how to do this. Like, we can never, if we go into that hole to ship this to you, we never get out.
Unreal.
Not to mention, it's causing knock-on effects. A friend of a friend ordered 29 pallets.
Mm-hmm.
Paid for 29 pallets of product. Paid for 29 pallets to be shipped. Received 25 pallets.
Oh, good.
Has photographic evidence of 29 pallets leaving and 25 pallets arriving.
Right.
Everyone involved in the process agrees 4 pallets have gone missing. The shipper and the manufacturer said, guess you better eat shit.
Jesus.
They're not refunding him anything. They're not covering any of it. They're not helping him file his insurance claim.
Wow.
Their insurance isn't covering it. 4 pallets of board games are gone.
That's insane. Wow.
Well, this is the thing, right? Like, I see some YouTube channels and they're giving away product.
Sure.
Like, one in particular, local one, Unbox Therapy goes out and buys 100 iPhone 12s.
Sure.
Like, literally from the mall in town.
Yep.
Then they decide we're going to open them and do this big thing. And they got their millions of views and whatnot. I'm sure that all paid for. It was $100,000 worth of phone.
Yeah.
And then they held a contest to give the phones away. And almost everybody who won lives in India.
Sure.
And then Lou comes back and he's like, holy crap.
Yep.
To ship a piece, like an iPhone made in the States, China, States type thing, to India because of their import fees, cost almost as much as all of the iPhones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
that sounds correct.
Yeah. So now they're kind of saying, we're going to screen any winners. Like, they're basically saying there's only going to be a percentage that get to go to India.
Yeah.
Because we just can't afford to ship. We can't afford to ship it.
Well, and then tied to all this is it's so bad now that, so I don't know if you guys know shipping, and this is also going to be for the listeners, but so shipping, you're supposed to know in advance. My pallet is in this cargo container on this ship.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And for years, that's been how it works. Because then if something goes wrong in the middle of the way, that's the easiest way to track it, right?
Yeah.
And every once in a while, terrible things happen and go awry. But it's also for, oh shit, I need a new trucker because it's going to be delayed because of a storm. Sure. They don't even get you on ships in the right quarter anymore.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you were booked in January, maybe October, maybe.
That's actually happened to a friend of mine who he moved to Europe and he shipped everything.
Yep.
And it's just like, He's still waiting.
No.
It's been crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But does this have to do with the fact that there are so many different startups? Like, where's the breakdown on this? Is it because of the COVID-19 situation? Is it because, like, when you look at Kickstarter, there's obviously a lot. It's a competitive space.
Yeah.
You know, and these projects are getting bigger and bigger
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the fandoms, right? Like the people in the demand and whatnot. Like, it doesn't surprise me that Assassin's Creed board game, normally I'd be like, really? But then I'm like, hey, you know what? Board games are big right now because you can involve multiple people. It's not exclusive like video games. We're stuck at home or we're spending more time at home, all of this stuff. So yeah, I can see the being a hot item. That industry obviously has got to be heating up. And is that part of the issue, is that these manufacturers and these shippers in other production areas of the world are just inundated at this point, and they're just like, oh, well, screw it. You like it or lump it.
My understanding is that it's literally every step of the process is falling apart. It's literally from fuel costs are up so much. Every single order is an emergency now.
Yeah.
There's more like emergency food and emergency medical supplies and stuff, which they take up room on these ships, right?
Yeah.
These ships have finite supplies. Combined with there's fewer people working. Places take longer to load and unload. And then
this is all pandemic.
It's pandemic plus the evergreen plus a bunch of these knock-on effects, right?
Right.
I think one of the things we're going to see over the next 5 years is a bunch of phantom deaths, basically from a lack of like safety regulations being enforced anywhere.
Right.
Right? Like if we look in Ontario even, restaurant safety basically disappeared during the pandemic, other than for COVID regulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And it's been like that everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. No, it makes sense. Like, you know, you just look at the impact on the medical system and people getting sicker and sicker and whatnot, and like not having readily available doctors, things like that. This is all just trickled down to that. Like a lot of it, man. And then you couple it in with the economic realities, like the cost of gas going up, everything like that. And as well, the segmentation of shipping that companies like Amazon have done.
I mean, that's a whole nother.
That's hugely disruptive, right? Because you know, if they do lean on the regular systems, then they're taxing them. If they do their own thing, then you know what I mean, manpower. Like it's just logistically, like it just starts making my head spin about what's happening with that industry in particular. And then you look at the previous U.S. government's take on the USPS. And how that impacts all of us in North America.
Yep.
It's, you know, trying to deny a service is a service and making it a business.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, ignoring the fact that, and I just feel the need to voice this every time it comes up, the USPS was one of the most profitable parts of the American government until a law made them fund all retirements in advance.
Yep.
The USPS had a law in, I think it was 2006, which was designed to ensure it cannot be profitable because it was being too profitable.
Wow.
Like that's a thing that we all like it's hammered into us. It's the USPS used to just print money.
Yeah, well, they sponsored Lance Armstrong's cycling team.
Right?
Like I have USPS merch in my closet. Because of the prevalence of that. Like it was, and that would blow me away at the time. Like, how was this team sponsored by them? Like 20 people and the shirts and the hats and and winning the tour. Like that's premium cash. Unbelievable. Yep. And then Discovery come in, do it, and then they buy Warner Brothers.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, guys, it's time to ship this episode. So, Phil, you can tell our listeners how they can get a hold of us.
Of course I will. You can get a hold of us at our website at www.itscanonpodcast.com. You can track us down on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at It's Canon Podcast. you can email us at show@itscanonpodcast.com. You can subscribe via Apple Podcasts. Really, like anywhere you find a podcast, you're going to find the It's Canon podcast. And if you like what you hear, make sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a rate and review if the platform allows it.
Thank you, Phil. All right, guys. Again, we'll be back on Sunday. Thank you to everyone listening. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Phil. It's time for me to go continue doing what I was doing. It's the It's Canon podcast. He's Phil. He's Tyler. I'm Boris. Good night. All right. So that's that.
If you think I'm going to be able to quantify any of that in a show note, the show notes are going to be funny this week.
It's just the Uspis episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just going to be like, spoilers.
Yeah.
on everything. We're even going to spoil your dinner.
Yep. Oh.
All right, guys.
The spoiled episode.